Whoa.
Hi, this is Luis Hernandez from C506. Today we have a couple of very handsome guys over here. And they are Jaboukie. It's okay, Jaboukie?
Yeah, that was great.
Jaboukie John White and Peter S. Kim or Peter Kim. Both of them are Truman and Benny from the upcoming series from Amazon Video, Fairfax. How you doing, guys?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, me too.
Off to a great start. You nailed the pronunciation of my name, so I'm feeling great.
Oh, well. Well, that's a good start then. Guys, well, I was able to watch a couple episodes and I noticed that this series is about teenagers who are looking for, to be influencers and have their verified accounts and all that. As actors, you deal with something called fame. And they're looking for that, but they're looking for the empty fame. A lot of people who are influencers, in the end, nobody knows who they are outside of the social media. You as actors actually will be reaching the real fame in a certain way. What do you think about this about these generations looking just to be looking for the fame, but in that superficial way?
I think it's interesting because now we have the concept of like a niche micro celebrity, like a niche internet micro celebrity, where it's like you can be the most famous person to like 9,000 people, just because. And I think it kind of started with streaming really taking off, and I think that social media kind of accelerated it. But because now there's so many options for like what you want to consume, that means that there's so many different pockets that are not overlapping and cross-pollinating whatsoever. Whereas like in the 90s, everyone knew Seinfeld. There was not even that many channels. Like you had to know Seinfeld. Whereas I feel like now if Seinfeld dropped, there would be a lot of people who like might not know who Jerry Seinfeld is because they're watching YouTube gamers. Like they're not watching that at all. So I think that it's interesting. I don't know. I think that it isn't necessarily it might be like the numbers might be different, but I feel like the passion that people feel towards influencers and towards streamers is just as, if not more intense than like traditionally famous people, just because the parasocial connection is so strong.
I agree. I think that was so well said and so much smarter than how I could have put it. I was just thinking how like, just the world changes and we change with it. Like back when my parents were kids, there were only like 4 channels. And then when I was, watching Seinfeld and Friends or whatever, when I was young, there was like cable channels and MTV was out. So now it's just like the next iteration of that evolution. I think these kids are just chasing what it means to feel cool, which is, we all feel that at any time, at all times. I think I'm almost 40 and I'm like, God, I feel uncool.
Have you been accidentally engulfed into this environment, like becoming even for a while a like, retweet, or even a follower junkie?
100%. It's designed to do that. I feel like we shouldn't be ashamed of that. That's why they make these apps. They make these apps specifically to do that. It's kind of like going to an amusement park and you just sit on the roller coaster the entire time, like a stale face. Like that's not even the point of this thing. Like it's designed to make you feel a certain way. So absolutely, of course.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that like getting a like equates to like hitting the center of your brain where you win money or something like that, and that definitely feels like that. Like my parents spent a lot of time in Atlantic City, so I can tell.
You gotta work.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what are the good and bad things you share with your characters?
Good question.
I think that a good and a bad thing that I share with Truman is that Truman is really passionate about his projects, and he really feels like very deeply about the art that he creates. And I think the bad part of that is that sometimes it can be kind of pretentious and kind of like he focuses on that at the expense of like at the expense of like recognizing what's going around him, and he just kind of like hyper focuses on his projects a little bit too much. So I think that that's something that I could really relate to.
Yeah, that is something you know, Benny is like the coolest kid, and he's so different from who I am. He's a sneakerhead. I literally own one pair of sneakers at a time. And so in that way, we're very different, but he's a chubby Korean kid who's a mama's boy. So in that way, we are like simpatico.
Okay, guys, you both of you have experience in comedy, like doing a stand-up. I think Jaboukie has a little bit more than Peter, but what would you think?
A lot more. Oh yeah.
I wasn't comparing. I wasn't comparing.
The world's comparing, Jaboukie.
Yeah.
Comedy Center and all that. But what do you think the path that the comedy is taking nowadays? You know, now a lot of writers and comedians feel like they have to go through a minefield because of this cancellation culture and the politically correct environment we have over here. So what do you think the path that the comedy is taking? Do you think that actually this is something that it's going to stay, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think that it has never really been to a point where it's ubiquitous. I think that the like cancel culture thing is mostly a marketing tool. Either you are marketing to the people who hate cancel culture and want you to like post pictures of you with like censor bars over your mouth and be like, I'm being silenced, I can't say the things that I want to say, or you are marketing and catering toward the people who don't feel that way. I think that it's not like it's one or the other. They're two separate streams and two separate audiences, and the idea that catering to one or the other will be disastrous to your career, or like no one will listen to you, I think has been proven false after maybe the 12th special that has been about being silenced. So I think I personally think that it really is just like an audience thing, and who do you want to be consuming your comedy? You know, do you want people to like, do you want people who are actively going to be like trying to tear down other groups consuming your comedy, or do you want to like invite those groups to consume your comedy? It's really a personal choice.
Yeah, I agree. I you know, I don't know if I walk around worrying about cancel culture. I think it's pretty silly. You know, obviously there's now more than ever, we have to listen to people who have not been listened to historically. But that's just like being a like a good person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think an artist should worry about like, oh, am I going to say the wrong thing? As long as it's coming from a place of like your truth or whatever. And you know, like Jaboukie said, like no one really gets canceled. You know, like they're still out there pulling in tickets and selling out shows. So like, I don't know if that's a thing. Well,
guys, thank you so very much for your time. I really appreciate these words you had with me. Unfortunately, you know, the time is just a few minutes, and really appreciate your opinion on these topics. And well, looking forward to watch the new episodes of Fairfax, and hope that you stay for a long time.
Oh, thanks, Luis.
Thank you, Luis.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.